mean, Riley Cooper, I mean, like, that dude deserves a statue. I mean, like,
number one on your speed dial.
Hey, I'll tell you what, like, I mean, I didn't know until a couple days after the fact. I was like, wait a minute, is he the MVP or like we got the all tournament team?
No doubt about it.
And then Ty Floyd, when I sure got 17, and like stole it from him. But I was like, when has a pitcher like been a part of like 5 of the 6 wins in Omaha? I mean, what a performance!
Coach, it's great to meet you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you for the time.
Pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Sharp a little late, boys, at the spring game, obviously, as you can see. Couple of booze cruises here to do. Let's do it. Cruise. Grand salami to the boys. Finally back on track. And I got another one coming. Don't you think I don't? And that's how we roll in Tiger Stadium.
Just watching the spring games that were on television, one thing that jumped out about your squad is your quarterback room is very talented compared to a lot of the league and a lot of the country. I wonder, is it easier to recruit that position when you have talent or when you don't have talent? Coach Kelly, we're official.
Finally,
I'm
get a
telling
chance to meet you. Thought I had to get a private audience with the Pope. There's Jordy.
Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification, we about to go live. We got all your favorite guests, we got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta Show, come have a good time.
Tearing up, answering the question, and I thought, my God, if she gets offered this job, she's going to take it.
It's just a crazy, fun time at LSU right now. Isn't this what everybody loves?
From the boot to the east to the west coast, no matter where we at, we live. Open up the phone lines, come and join the show. Make sure you tell your friends about Jordy Culotta Show. Yeah.
Let's go! Let's go!
All right. Nice start. Big day. Nice start.
It's the Jordy Culotta Show, come have a good time.
Coach, it's great to meet you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you for the time. Welcome into a Sunday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show live here from our Click Here Digital Campus. 6 o'clock here on a Sunday as we appreciate you finding us and ending your weekend with us. If you don't mind, hit that
Starting
like
your
button, share button, comment button. That's right. Taking a little NFL action. We got the red zone on here after LSU steamrolls past Army on Saturday night. Tigers all over the place. We'll tell you all about it as LSU gets into, will travel into Tuscaloosa as this one sets up to be a one for the ages. One that, as always, Alabama and LSU should be announced tomorrow. Primetime will likely be the kickoff for LSU and Alabama, but we will talk about that one as we recap Army and LSU 62-0 yesterday as Jaden Daniels throws for 3 more touchdowns as LSU, who is ranked number 19 in the country.
Whenever you want it.
What have I told you? What have I told you?
Oh,
Week 3.
That was you?
Week 3.
Been on the bus. Oh, I mean, the Jane Daniels train.
No. I mean, I've been saying about this offense. The best part about it is that it's always there. Whenever you need it, it is there. And this offense, I think you wake up again here on this Sunday.
You blink and there's 50.
And you have the best offense in the country. You saw it last night. Washington was dreadful against Arizona State. 16 points. Michael Penix with a couple of turnovers last night. Inconsistent play. Caleb Williams and USC fall again. So if the argument is 2 loss, welcome to the party, pal. It's Caleb Williams and USC fall again. Last night they fall to Utah. Another 2-loss quarterback is Jaden Daniels. Got to be the best of the bunch here, right?
Not so fast, my
Fred.
friend.
Welcome to the party, pal.
A great one.
I love that. But yeah, I mean that's what you needed.
Welcome to the party, pal.
We may have been 2 weeks early on the Jay Daniels call. Obviously, it will come down to the Alabama game, but now he is.
He's got to be in the driver's seat.
What else you
I mean,
what else you need?
Drake May got beat last night by Virginia. I mean,
Big Drake May.
Jordan Travis. Anybody that wants to compare Jordan Travis to Jaden Daniels, like turn the film. You must not watched Florida State play.
I did 1 week.
He can't make the easy passes.
Run game.
Jaden Daniels is the best
Keon
quarterback
Coleman.
in the country, and it feels like at this point he's starting to run away with it.
Yeah.
I mean, really. Obviously, look, man, 2 weeks from now, LSU and Bama is going to be that moment. It will give him the opportunity to take advantage of a huge spotlight. He threw for 279 last night, 3 scores, a moment to Brian Thomas that looked beautiful, one that'll play out on draft night, one that'll be all over the highlights as he dumped it right over the cornerback's head. Brian Thomas sprinting away from the Army defense last night. Another double score game for Thomas as he's now got 11 on the season. Malik Neighbors was beautiful last night. Look, obviously, man, they did what they were supposed to do, right? I mean, if you want to sit here and break down the Army game, I mean, I guess we can. But, I mean, in the as far as the takeaway and what you can really grow on from that is that LSU did what they were supposed to do. Mm-hmm. They took care of business. That's what good teams do.
That's what I was about to say is you're starting to see LSU become a team where you didn't know who they were becoming a good team, where you're take care of business team. And now, obviously, you're coming up on the Alabama game where it always feels like this is where it comes to a head. Like,
business is business now.
I have PTSD a little bit from some of it from back in the day where it felt like this isn't a Les Miles team, but those types of games where you took care of business. I mean, honest to God, after week 2, I didn't know who LSU was.
Right.
You were struggling to find an identity, and then you see the offense, that's for real. Jay Daniels, for real. And then defense, healthy Omar Spates, everything's starting to kind of fall in line, and this is usually when the chair gets pulled out from under you. But with a head coach like Brian Kelly, this is where Nick Saban, you have to go ahead. You feel good going into it head-to-head if they're healthy in the defensive back room.
Yeah, look, obviously the biggest story of last night was Zy Alexander.
Or active.
The biggest story of last night was Zy Alexander going down in the second quarter. Does not look
unfortunate.
Good. Yeah, I mean, I don't know
Didn't
what
look good at all.
Doesn't look good. I don't know what the status is, but whatever the status is, all of the cornerbacks that LSU scooped up in the offseason are in question. Like, no matter how you look at this, last night, J.K. Johnson, first and foremost, blew out and was injured. His ankle,
blew a tire,
foot in the preseason. So you never saw J.K. Johnson, which, you know, by the way, is a storyline because he would have been a starter going into the year. So you lose him early. Then within the season, you've got the shuffling and everything that's moving around. Deuce Chestnut is nowhere to be found. I know that there was a status update that was given on Chestnut last week by Kelly. It doesn't seem like in people that I've spoke with that Chestnut's going to be back with the team. It would be a surprise at this point if Chestnut is back with the team. Last night, no Denver Harris on the sideline. I expect Harris to be ready and there for Tuscaloosa, not only because they're desperate for him, but because I just think last night was an opportunity for a consequence, and they took a chance to administer that.
Yep.
And that also was with the peace of mind to get and make sure that they have him ready to go for Tuscaloosa. And, you look at the guys that they brought over in the offseason, and Zy Alexander goes down last night. You lose J.K. Johnson in the offseason. Denver Harris was inactive.
Deuce Chestnut, still on scholarship, not with the team.
Deuce Chestnut is nowhere around. So that's all of your transfer corners that, last night you were without for 2.5 quarters. And going into Alabama, that's going to be some of the questions that you're going to have answered and have to have answered going into that matchup. So obviously defensive backfield has been the highest point of anxiety for this LSU team all season long. They continue to cause that coming out of this game last night and going into the bye, but is where, they got to have some help, man. They got to have some guys step up. I don't know what the plan is going to be if, the status of those guys is as it is now, right? I mean, if Harris is inactive and Zy Alexander's hurt and Deuce Chestnut's not with the team and J.K. Johnson's hurt, I mean, you're looking at Stamps and Welsh again. I'm just trying to take names of who's active. Sage Ryan will be out there. I mean, you're gonna have to play some of these freshmen. You're gonna have to play some of these new faces. I don't know who you got. I mean, I don't.
Toviano plays from corner last night.
Kylan Jackson got in a little bit.
Yeah,
got a little run.
Safety.
Hey, look,
I know.
You can.
I'm just saying. Now you need
warm
warm bodies.
But you got to have people.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I mean, at this point, it's not about next man, best guy up. No, it's just about like who's up. Can you go?
Waterbug, where's your helmet?
So, Migo Tez, the update is there is no update. Like you're kind of just status quo right there at the defensive backfield. So,
well, and for the Alexander thing, I was at the game last night, and they did the ACL test on the field, and it took a long time for them to get him off the field. I mean, that's only speculation from my part, but whenever you go through all of the the checklist that they went through,
walk off or carry off?
Carry off, no weight on the leg.
Yeah, it did not look good.
It didn't look good. So that's what I'm saying. So now, I mean, if you're Denver Harris, you may have lost some battles, but you might win the war.
Right. I mean,
in the long haul, yeah.
At some point, you would hope that the lessons stick. But this is a great moment.
He played so good against Missouri.
It would be an opportunity for him to really seize the moment. Yeah, he played good. He played.
They had a package for him. He was trying to work him in to where. And who was the defensive lineman where they had a 3-game suspension plan kind of built in? Do you know what I'm talking about? Where they got to pick and choose whenever he was in and out the lineup.
Was that 2019?
It was a linebacker.
No, was it?
Micah
Baskerville.
Michael Divinity.
Michael Divinity. That's who it was. Yeah. That's kind of what this is starting to feel like, where you're starting to put the puzzle together a little bit. All right, sit this one
you're
out.
Missing 4 games.
Yeah, we're just going
to tell you which ones they are.
Army out.
Right, no doubt.
Georgia
State done.
He's here. He's just not playing.
He's good. He's in good standing.
And then you see Denver Harris on the sideline.
He's running the stadiums right now.
Yeah, Boozie's playing.
He's
at Fred's.
Look, also shout out last night to how about Trey Ollie?
Trey Ollie out of Canada.
He was flying on that touchdown.
So much talent in that backfield.
I mean, the running back room is embarrassing how good it is.
And what's crazy is you don't have to rely on it. How good Jaden Daniels has gotten from, I mean, he was good last year, but from the progression he's made from last year to this year, and you can see him being so confident and going through his progressions to where it is formulaic.
He plays the quarterback position. It is like watching
porn.
I mean, I don't want to base it. It's like watching almost like a symphony. It's like watching things that just a good movie that you're just like, man, I
hope this happens.
Get enough of this. I cannot watch enough of this guy play because he makes it look so easy.
Even a little flip.
Yeah,
twice.
To the running back.
I mean, the way he moves back there,
I'm not panicking, Coach.
The way that he sees it is just, he's on a whole nother level right now. I mean, really and truly, he is playing the quarterback position at such a high level. And, we have been and had the opportunity, especially over the last 10 years, to see that with Drew Brees pulling it off multiple times where, I mean, he was just dominating the game from that spot, to Joe Burrow in 2019, to Jaden Daniels in 2023. I think it's in that class. It feels as if it's the same, it's the same style of effectiveness that it beats you in so many ways. I mean, the way that he can play that position, things that we don't even notice. The things that he's doing pre-snap, the things that he's doing in alignment, the things that he's seeing and pointing out. I mean, this is a quarterback 6 weeks ago that it was a validated question on whether or not he was the right guy to make the big plays in the offense. It still looked like he was clutching on letting the ball go. And once he flipped that switch and decided that he was going to be a big playmaker or allow the big plays to be made, his whole status, his whole demeanor, his whole approach,
mouthpiece came out. Steph Curry.
It is. It is.
I like that.
It's
How he
the
just
best
chills
at what he does.
with the
I think
mouthpiece in.
anybody who looks and sees J.J. McCarthy
Big
play
JJ McCarthy.
quarterback
What's he
and
ever
want to
done?
compare it to Jaden Daniels, like, I need your football credentials. I need to know what you believe you're looking at that would tell you that these two players are comparable in any sense. Like, what do you see from, I mean, I watched, first off, Michigan. They don't play anybody.
They play Ohio State. Don't worry about it.
I mean, even Ohio State. Like, I mean, I know that they can't control that, but I mean, like, up to Ohio State, they have not been, not even threatened. Like,
And they've been cheating the entire time.
Pushed.
Wait, they had somebody at the Ohio State game yesterday.
Wait,
Michigan.
they got caught?
No, but
It was somebody dressed up?
Somebody with a Michigan shirt on was at the Ohio State game.
I mean, I guarantee you they're playing that up, dude. I mean,
They suspended him.
yeah, they have to. They're busted.
But that's what I'm saying. That means you're caught.
No, they're
got
busted.
caught.
They're busted. I mean, like,
Hey,
it's.
Jim. I think we're caught.
I mean, you
and
go
Jim's
back
like,
and,
well, we
you go
could do
back
this
and
in
watch
the-
that Shiano interview. Is that the best?
He's like, I mean, there's some
He's
things
like,
going on.
Look, there's some weird stuff happening.
I'm
here
not going to
today.
say anything.
We'll
but
talk
I'm just
about
gonna,
it at some point, but they
I-
got some strange stuff happening.
I'll put a call in. It's not going to be on the halftime interview where I'm going to let this thing out, but I'm going to let you know the wheels are in motion.
I mean, they're popped, bro. Like,
What do they do?
I think we all in this
and-
room have been caught for something at some point in our lives,
Damn.
Never.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, that is
Prove it.
Yep.
it's obviously been proven.
Prove it.
Stallion's in trouble.
It's He's in trouble.
He's in trouble
We're just getting-
because Harbaugh.
waterboard me.
You know Harbaugh on like the lead, like the setup of this. He's like, look, man, you go down. Like, I am claiming
Chris Carter.
total ignorance on this. Like,
Everybody has a fall guy.
I mean,
I don't know nothing.
I have no idea.
I don't
that
even know
we
who
were
that man
buying
is.
airplane tickets for
Remember
a
when
staffer
you-
and getting them tickets to games where they can
6
steal
weeks in
signs.
advance.
I had no idea.
That man is not on staff.
I had no idea.
On his own volition.
What's his name?
A stallion.
You say? I got nobody in my Rolodex with anything close to the
I
name
can
Stallion.
see Harbaugh like sitting
No
on the
doubt.
stand, just like tiny box. I didn't.
Well,
I don't know.
You like
Yeah, I
sex?
have no- I got
you dig
no
to
idea.
sex? You like sex?
Say that.
But if you're from Harbaugh's perspective, there is a small percent chance, because you could do this in the NFL, that he didn't know that you couldn't do it in college. It's a rule that was enacted 30 years ago.
94.
Yeah, where he's like, oh, God, we might actually be in trouble.
There's no way you can do that in the NFL.
But-
Belichick got popped for it, right?
Yeah,
When
no,
Belichick sending
no.
people to practice and stuff for the Jets? who
No.
were
It
stealing-
was, and then didn't they like?
No,
mess
but
with
you
somebody's,
can video games for the NFL, and you can pre-scout like a week in advance. What the Patriots are doing with Ernie Adams was like they had somebody in the box that was
They're just keeping an eye on
yeah
the
everything
sideline.
and
Stealing
yeah
the
like
signs.
good on you.
Right.
But if you're Michigan and this like you're about to see this come to fruition next week, like they already had the Michigan State signs. You didn't need them, but you had them.
Speaking of Michigan State,
Coach,
Dead in the water.
that's a dumpster fire.
Couldn't play dead in a Western.
It like that feels like the Baylor job.
Coach.
That feels like
Wait,
post
did you see
Art
what they put on the
Briles.
video board?
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
can't. I don't know if you can even say that out loud.
No, you cannot. Don't say that.
Yeah.
I mean,
How'd that happen?
They're lost up there.
I think so. It is.
I mean, like everything that has come out about Michigan State over the last 5 years has just been like,
What are they doing?
how are you this bad? How?
Lack of institutional control. But if you're Michigan,
Tom Izzo still
We
running
were
that
talking-
basketball
I mean,
program.
Izzo.
the football field is named after him, or the locker room is for the football team. Like, what are we doing? But who's going to punish Michigan? Is it the NCAA? Like, who is in charge of this?
Those Michigan schools are.
That's
lot
what I'm
of
saying.
weird
No.
stuff going on.
Like,
up
if
there,
you
huh?
just fire the Navy SEAL that you hired, like, who is in charge of, like,
Yeah, Stallion's a Marine.
He's a Marine and in charge of like intelligence.
Like
they
Stallion
got
is like
they got a guy.
He's
like a recon.
He's a high
Marine.
class intelligence officer within the Marine Corps. Like I mean,
this
like
man is
not only does Harbaugh have a staffer on it, he's got a dude.
Yeah.
Like,
they found a guy.
Yeah,
Like he's got a brain. He's got the dude. I mean,
Because the Colts hired a Navy SEAL to conduct their pre-draft personnel. Like whenever they did the interviews, he would sit in and like, this is how you should interview people, and he would look for like signals of if they're lying or not. And it's like the NFL knows no bounds, and Harbaugh is cut from that
$18 billion
cloth.
bucks, bro.
Right?
I mean, like being a Navy SEAL.
And then, but what I'm saying is, who's in charge of that? Like, who's going to make them be in trouble?
Maybe the same people that send out the penalties to Kansas.
Right. Like, this is going to play out in front of your face, but it's not going to be this year.
I mean, I just Michigan. my point being, J.J. McCarthy and Jaden Daniels being compared
Line them up.
is hysterical. I mean, it is as about as close as the Michigan State game last night. I mean, what is the Heisman? Is the Heisman turning around and handing off all game and just winning? I mean, this guy McCarthy might as well be playing at a 4A high school in Louisiana running the option.
He had the best game of his
Zachariah.
life.
I mean, this guy
21 of
put him at
27.
Vanderbilt High.
Yeah.
Is he a skipper?
But I mean,
season high on the
attempts and
What was that?
that's what I'm saying.
19?
27. He was 21 of 27.
He threw it 30 times against Eastern Carolina, coach.
Oh God, watch out! Why? But
needed it.
When you talk about like the Heisman discussion, we've been on this train for a minute, and we were saying going into, I thought it was going to be last week. Whenever it was Michael Penix, like they got after the. Like going into the bye week before they played Oregon, Washington, I was like, all right, maybe that's when you'll pick up some Jaden Daniels' team. Turns out Penix going into the Oregon game gets all of the pub, then he has a bad game. But if you've been watching, I don't think this is biased on our part. Jaden Daniels is playing the quarterback position the best of anybody in the country, and it's not close.
I mean, really and truly, I don't believe it's close. Like, I mean, like I said, I mean, I have had a great time like watching a lot of football, and the reason why I'm watching football is because of the quarterback play. And when you watch all these quarterbacks play, there are some high first round selections out there, man, in college football. And I don't know if Jaden Daniels is like a top 5 pick of what everybody's talking about, like the Drake May, Caleb Williams, Shedeur Sanders, all these guys. Like, but in college football right now, today, he's the best quarterback going. I don't know what his pro translation is, but I know when I watch Caleb Williams play, you throw a couple of defenses at him like Notre Dame and Utah have the past 2 weeks, he was looking at a jigsaw puzzle. You know, like, I mean, he was definitely, it took him a while to diagnose what he was looking at last night. He did not figure out what he was looking at last week. Jaden Daniels, besides all the numbers, like the 5 straight weeks of the 500-yard total offenses outputs and the touchdown passes. I mean, LSU right now, as we're doing this show, right now, LSU has statistical leaders in receiving yards with Malik Neighbors, who has 981 yards in 8 games this season. He sits in the first spot there. He's also just 19 yards away, becoming the second player in LSU history to have back-to-back 1,000-yard receiving seasons. Prior to 2023, the only player ever to do it was Josh Reed, who did it back in 2000 and 2001. Brian Thomas is the NCAA's receiving touchdowns leader after his 2 last night. He now has 11 on the season. Thomas and Neighbors are both on pace to eclipse 1,000-yard receiving seasons. And then Jaden Daniels right now is the NCAA leader in total yards per game and a couple of other stats. He leads NCAA in yards per game at 386 per outing, and he's the first player to eclipse the 3,000-yard mark this season. Daniels is averaging 9.85 yards per play, which ranks number 1 nationally. Every snap he's nearly
Getting
a
a
first down. I mean, like, these are like Madden video game type numbers. I mean, he's 3 yards behind Michael Penix right now as far as passing yards go. So, I mean, like, people that are selling Penix as this far and away favorite for this award, I know going into last night he was, and after last night in the outing versus Arizona State, some of the steam has come out of the caboose. But, I mean, like, people out there are still talking about Penix being this much more of a Heisman prospect. It's like,
I think they just love the story. They love the narrative of 2 ACLs, he transfers, Washington's on the map, all of that. You know, that all plays into it, right? But Jaden Daniels has a pretty similar story where he's at a dumpster fire at Arizona State. You saw what he did his freshman year. I mean, transfers, and what he did last year was, I mean, to come in to a team that he's never been a part of, comes in as a transfer portal guy, which LSU, I don't think anybody really expected him to be this big of a factor, even in
no way.
Even last year.
No way.
Like, I don't know if he's going to win the job.
Yeah, no way.
And then you fast forward to this year, and it's, whoa.
Yeah.
And I think you have to give some flowers to Mike Denbrock and obviously our guy Joe Sloan, but what Denbrock has done and the way they're getting people open is unbelievable. And the amount of trust that he's putting in Jane Daniels' hands is far and away. He is running that offense to a masterclass level. Like, he sees he has total control.
The game is slow.
And I know it was Army.
The game is slow.
But that's been every game.
Past 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Game is
Thank
slow.
you. Yes.
All right, and then defensively last night, look, not a lot to...
He was running gashers last night against Army.
You got to play discipline against Army. Like, that's one thing that you have to do. You can go in there and be outmanned, or you can outman them, or you can be more talented in key spots, but you have to stay disciplined. And I thought last night defensively they stayed disciplined. I mean, they're getting better, man. You know, I don't know how much you take away from Army, and I agree that there's not a lot you can take away, but you have to do what you're supposed to do. And a shutout at this level for this team against anybody is going to be a confidence builder that they desperately need. Like, they need that. They need to just see the 0 on the scoreboard and know, hey, look, you can do that.
And I would say that if you're LSU, a team that has struggled before, I mean, we keep bringing up Pete Jenkins. Big Pete Jenkins.
Big Pete Jenkins.
But before, if you played Army week 2, I don't know what LSU looks like. It seems like they're settling into, because that's assignment football.
Yeah.
And it felt like LSU had no clue kind of what was going on the defensive side of the ball, whether it was getting lined up on time, who was coming in, who was coming out, who's playing what position. And now it feels like they've kind of settled in, and Army's a good test of that, regardless. Like, that's a hard football team to have to play and be after you gave up 1,000 yards of offense against Ole Miss, and then you go 2 weeks ahead of that, and you're looking at, okay, this could be a tricky spot for LSU where they could bust an 80-yard play. Grambling put up numbers against you, and now you run into an Army offense that they're not the worst in the world, and it was 3 and out, 4 turnovers.
No, it was, I mean, look, defensively you had to find some things that you could rest your hat on. And I think going into last night, you take some things away that you can continue to grow on. And now you go into this LSU-Bama series where you are legitimately looking at 2 of the heavyweights in the game right now. This is going to be a matchup that's going to be built up for 2 weeks on strength versus strength, on something's got to give, right? When you look at this Alabama defense right now, they are limiting opponents to 16 points per game right now. LSU is averaging 40 points a game. They're averaging over 300 yards, 380 yards of offense a game. Right now, Jaden Daniels and this offense, what they're going to be pulling into Tuscaloosa with, Alabama has never seen. On the flip side, this will be the toughest defensive test that LSU has gone up against all season long, including Florida State. From a confidence standpoint, this group right now up front with Dallas Turner and that line of scrimmage is playing with some swag to them, with some bounce to them. with some belief to them. We'll talk about and break this game down a ton over the next 2 weeks. But, still under right at 13 days until this thing kicks off. The more I watch Alabama play, and I watched Alabama play yesterday, all 4 quarters, and they had a nice win versus Tennessee. And Tennessee was going back and forth with them for the first half, and Alabama finally got off the ropes in the second half and was able to put them away. But when you watch Alabama from a defensive standpoint, because their offense is, no good. They, again, giving up 4 sacks to Milroe. Again, Milroe struggling in certain places. Now, they made some plays over the top, and LSU's going to give up plays. But for the most part, the Alabama offense does not strike fear into anyone. Defensively, you look at Kool-Aid McKinstry, you look at Dallas Turner, you look at some of the names they have and some of the problems that they can present. And then you turn on the game and you watch LSU play, and you're like, okay. Kool-Aid, if you want to match up on Malik Neighbors and try and take 8 out of the game, I guess, he's probably due for that. Right?
I don't know if anybody can stop.
I don't know if they can either, but even Brian Thomas has an off game like he did last week, 2 catches, 7 yards. I guess Malik Neighbors is due for one of those clunkers that it feels like every single year at least one stud, at least one premier player has. Maybe he's immune to it. Maybe he's Jamar Chase. Maybe he's Joe Burrow.
Well, no, I would just think that.
But if they even try and do that, you still have to deal. Chris Hilton looked good last night. He's getting healthy.
He looked fast.
He did.
Aaron Anderson looked quick.
Aaron Anderson looked quick.
He wants that end zone so bad.
He's looking forward to going to Bryant Denny.
Cool.
So, okay, take 8 out of the game. All right.
I don't think you can.
Okay,
Cool.
I don't think you can either.
Kool-Aid might be up for one.
Yeah, but I think Kool-Aid and Malik would be a great matchup.
But Coach, he was in hell against Texas.
He was?
And Malik, that dude from Texas ain't Malik.
No.
And
I'm with you. I'm just saying, look, man.
It's a good matchup.
I'm not trying to bet against my guy. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that.
It's going to be a good matchup.
Like, this dude, he's every week. He's automatic.
He has the most yards per game in the country.
He's the sun. You know what I mean? Like, you can count on it. It's coming up tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, Malik Neighbors is going to get you numbers.
And you can just tell by the way he's playing that he wants it all. Like, every game he's on 10. Whether it be Army, Alabama, it doesn't matter. Malik
that one he caught last night on the sideline, and he got to the middle of the field like he was looking to house that.
Yeah,
game.
It wanted to for fun.
I'm trying to hit my head on the goalpost. I almost ran over the ref too. You could get some.
And Carn Lacey didn't play. I wouldn't say played he didn't play bad. Didn't need him obviously against Army.
But
you got Brian Thomas back involved. You get Chris Hilton back involved. You get Aaron Anderson back involved. The Alabama game will come down to that 3 spot, that slot spot where.
Well, look at it last year. He was a star.
Well, look at
Mason
it.
Taylor.
Look at it against 2019. Terrace Marshall was running naked.
And you could kind of I think they were kind of planning for that against Alabama because you see they put Malik in the slot, ran him on a little.
What they're doing,
a little double move.
They put
him in the Mason Taylor role.
That's the thing that Denbrock deserves the most credit for. Is that he is exposing these weapons.
Yes.
He is taking advantage of these weapons. Like Pete Carmichael, if I'm you, I'm calling Denbrock and being like,
how do you do it?
How do you spread so much love? You got Kamara, you got Thomas, you got Shaheed, you got Olave, you got all these cats, and nobody. How are y'all not productive? Because
our
you look down the interstate.
Awesome.
Yeah, but there's got to be ways. Get the ball out of your hand. Put the ball in these guys. Give it to him
he's
in
holding
space.
the ball for 4 seconds.
Right.
So I know he has time.
You look at LSU, and LSU has got all these superstars, and all of these dudes are producing,
touching the ball.
It's
a positive play every time they touch it.
Oh, bro, it is football. I guess it is football pornography.
It is.
It really,
everything is.
It just everything works.
And when they get going, it's
it's a machine.
It's not about the way.
It's not if.
Yeah, it's when.
It's when.
And who is it going to be?
Uh-huh.
That throw to Brian Thomas just. Ooh.
Right. Y'all want to see the deep ball. There it is.
3 minutes ago, coming from our friends over at On 3, LSU class of 2024 just picked up another athlete, PJ Woodland, has committed to the Tigers. 6 foot 160 athlete from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, previously committed to Mississippi State. He tweeted out, "DBU, let's do it."
Hard to get guys out of Mississippi.
Mm-hmm. I would think that's a cornerback, right?
I mean, I would think so, Coach.
I mean, they got 3,
At
and
this
one's
point-
a corner.
At this point, you got to have them. All right, hit that
All
like
right.
button, share button,
All right.
comment button.
All right.
One thing about last night that we have not talked about, I thought the uniforms were. Dude, I like
OTOP stepped in it again.
I like the kit.
You like the
I like the
gold
traditional
top.
tops, and if you're gonna do the all whites, I like that that
white
touch
with
of
the
it.
white and then the
That
gold
white
top.
on white with the tradition. LSU's got a beautiful helmet.
Yeah, I mean,
And it's a very
Both of them are
it's
great.
a
The
very
whites.
recognizable. I'm not the fan of the white. I'm just not that big of a fan of the all
white, purple, white I
helmet.
love.
I think the white helmet with the purple top and the white
Mm-hmm.
pant is LSU's best alternative combination.
yeah.
But the throwback against Ole Miss in 2018 when they wore
With
the
the number.
59s, where they wore the
gray
Billy
face
Cannons,
mask.
the
Yeah.
gray face mask with
Yeah.
the numbers on the helmets.
That was
And
that's one of
the block lettering, the old school lettering, the old school numerals, to me is
Showing
the
yourself.
finest. But
it was Alabama.
Yeah,
thought last night-
that's why I don't like them.
I thought last night was a top 3.
That was good. That was fun.
That was a top 3
It
alternative.
was different.
I will agree that they have to change the piping into the piping.
Yeah.
Like, they don't match.
Yeah, that is.
I mean, G-string.
You hear something.
Just let's just get just it's a, I don't know what the process is,
I mean,
but
Right.
it's probably a new
for-
ordering a new pants for Mike.
yeah, for my autism, it doesn't line up right.
Oh god.
Like I would like for it to, all be succinct. Like when they did the
He did say his autism. For
yeah,
everybody out there.
but the 2015 when the piping went all the way around on the shoulders, I was like, this is
That was
LSU.
that was.
Like Leonard Fournette had to play in those.
They
jerseys.
ruined it.
Yeah, like this is
they-
not what it's supposed to look like. And then when you talk about the all whites, I just think about the game after Alabama when they
This-
came.
oh,
Like Les
this.
Miles trying to save his job.
Oh yeah, that was.
That's why I can't look at him anymore.
Yeah, that's where I was done.
Oh, that's what
I was done.
They
with all
look
that.
awesome.
When they got off the bus that day, I was like, "Oh, that's the desperate,
Try hard.
That's the desperate
Like I
showing
let
up
them
to
do
the
whatever
gate.
they want.
Like, well, I've already seen you. Like, no. This is
This is
not
me.
gonna-
Yeah.
This is not gonna work.
What's up? We could have just won classics for this dog.
Yeah, right. I mean,
Card don't bend. Oh yes, it does.
big win for Lane last night.
Yeah, big win.
I thought that was.
'Cause
I thought that was a nice one. They had him on the ropes for a minute.
Auburn's just.
I think that was one of Jackson Dart's best game.
Yeah.
A
Jackson
true
Dart-
quarterback. Like he looked like a real quarterback.
I mean, they had a dude return punts with a cast on his hand.
Yeah,
Drop one, put the dude out there with the cast on.
but how bad is it in Arkansas? Did you see that?
Who called?
Arkansas get beat by their Mississippi State's backup quarterback yesterday.
Ugh.
7-3.
Oh
was the
yeah,
final
yeah. I
score.
said that to
texted me,
Lloyd.
yeah.
That was early though.
Mm-hmm.
Was that 11 a.m.?
I was saying on Friday
It was, yeah.
we were doing biked up, and I was like, you wouldn't if that game was played in my backyard, I wouldn't watch it. Like
Yeah.
I have no interest in this football
Ugh.
game
It
at all.
was worse than that.
Yeah,
It was
like,
worse than what you.
It
could
was
think
worse
about.
than what you thought it was.
I'm about to put that on.
I mean, it is.
Yeah, what are you gonna watch? Nothing.
7-3, coach.
Dan Enos is stealing
Game of the year.
stealing from Arkansas.
Game of the century, coach. They
Well, you
saw-
might get the head coaching job.
Yeah, stole Les Miles' coup.
Pittman's done.
Gotta
Yeah,
be.
He's out. I'm out, dog.
I was talking to an Arkansas fan at the LSU game. He graduated from there. I was like, "What are y'all doing?" He's like,
Following the LSU model. Mm-hmm. I mean, really?
"But he goes, their endowment is unbelievable.
Oh,
There is a
dude.
19-minute highlight of this.
Arkansas?
Billions."
Oh, man.
And
it's-
I was like, "Well, what do y'all use it on?" He's like, "Nothing."
it's just-
I mean,
they're up to date on everything. They got facilities.
Yeah.
They got all the stuff. I mean,
Pay the
just-
players.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I guess that would be it. Yeah. I
Just
mean,
do A&M, but be better at it. But they should that's what's actually kind of terrifying. If Arkansas ever figured it out,
I know. It'd be scary. It would be
LSU
scary.
does well, and thank God that they haven't figured it out yet, because now everything's getting washed
got
away.
some
But
athletes in Arkansas too.
no doubt, and you could go pluck from Louisiana, Texas.
Landon
like,
Jackson's a player.
He is.
He's a player.
He gave Bama that Bama
I mean,
offensive
like,
line.
Edo.
LSU would
Edo
be-
eval.
They gave one of Bama's offensive linemen of the week. Bama gave up 3.5 sacks to one player.
I think Bama and who did I see? Bama and one other high level school are the only two schools that have given up is Arkansas. It was Arkansas.
Multiple sacks and
5, like 4. Like, I think a minimum of 4 sacks in the last 3 games. I mean, I'm telling you.
It spells bad for
Harold Perkins. I mean, like,
he looked so good.
I don't
he
know
looked so
why,
comfortable.
but like he's the one I believe is going to have the.
What do you mean you don't know why?
Because I mean it's all offense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you think of LSU and you think highlights, I mean I'm thinking Malik Neighbors, I'm thinking Brian Thomas, I'm thinking all these cats.
Thinking Jaden
Perk's
Daniels.
always-
Jane Daniels. I mean,
Perk's
I'm thinking
always on speed
Logan
dial.
Diggs. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I think that you come out of the Bama game like talking about Perk and the defense of. It's almost built for him.
Yeah,
like
it
they
is.
can't block like this slob Proctor, Cade Proctor, this true freshman. Like I mean,
That's
like,
food. That's food
that
for Perk.
is
Slob Proctor.
just eating
That's food.
for Perkins.
Third down coach's money.
Like Proctor is going to have nightmares about Harold Perkins
having him
over the
tonight.
next 2 weeks.
He's
I'm
already
telling you,
thinking about
it
it, Coach.
starts tonight. I mean,
you
if
know-
I'm Perkins, I'm texting Proctor. You know what I mean? Like, what
You
up?
know?
What up, Perker Proc?
How's
Perky
the girl
Worky?
doing?
Right? The Procolator?
You know who else is starting to find their footing too? Mason Smith.
Yes. He's getting back into shape.
That's what I'm saying. It's starting
Yeah,
to look like
back
the
in shape.
player you thought he would be. And obviously, I referenced the LSU Gold episode that I saw, but you saw that he was not close to 100%. And now you're starting to see him play multiple snaps, and whether it be the rotation that they're using, because you saw a lot of Jacoby and Guillory, and you saw a lot of Jordan Jefferson,
Jordan Jefferson, yeah.
last night, where it was, okay, everybody, like, those guys can play. So let them play. And that keeps everybody fresh. And Micah Wingo obviously was out, but put him back in the mix. He'll be healthy for Alabama, or at least available. And that's a legit chance to. What Alabama does on offense is a lot of
Yeah.
like it's bad.
Yeah. And then like
80
whoa.
yards on your head.
Right.
Like Milroe is competent.
No,
But,
no. He's
but
gotten better.
it's clunky.
It
like,
is.
But it's not like it's a hard
is.
watch.
It is.
I've watched a lot of hard offenses in my life.
Yes.
Where it's like, ugh.
It's one of them.
And then it's
Yeah,
like,
it feels like that.
athlete.
It feels like that.
Yeah.
No, it feels like LSU mid-20 teens where you're like,
Oh, that's
ugh,
Odell Beckham.
just struggling. It's just like pushing semen up a hill. You know what I mean? It's like
Sisyphus.
finally, we got a little bit of a break here.
And
but
then
I
you
mean,
see Odell go 80, and you're like, why don't you get him the
yeah,
ball
like,
more?
How does that happen? I mean, like you got all these guys. How are you so bad? I don't think that Bama.
I cannot
is-
wait for this football game.
Me either. I mean, it's typical.
You're in.
It's
You're back.
typical.
I can
Oh,
tell.
yeah, I'm back. You can't have this good of an
They
offense. and
tried
not
to
expect
pull
me.
me back out.
I mean, it's
They
too
pulled me
it's,
back
it's
in.
too good, man. This offense is too good. They can do everything.
It's fun to watch.
It is fun to watch.
That's
They got
all
a
we're
good
asking
offensive
for.
line. They can run the ball. I mean, these running backs just keep falling out of the tree, man. Trey, I mean, Jordan was like, "Who's that?"
John!
I was like, "Good Lord, Trey Holly,
John Emery.
flying Emery, gift that keeps on giving, baby."
He is.
Hey, look. Gotta just keep giving John the ball, man.
He might fumble again, or he
That's
might
all right.
score.
That's all right.
He's 50-50. Yeah. I just love watching him play.
me
He's so
too,
much
man.
fun. I love, and you sneeze, and if you hand the ball off, you get 5 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Brian Kelly said it. They weren't even focused on running the ball last night. They wanted to throw the ball.
They can beat you running the
They
ball.
ran for 200 yards.
Like they could beat you running
And
the
nobody's
ball.
talking about it.
Without Jaden Daniels
Arkansas
running.
fired their offensive coordinator this afternoon. Dan Enos fired. $2.1 million buyout for Enos.
Oh, that's
It's
it.
unreal,
Walmart.
dude. I'm telling you, coaching
Write that
is it.
They didn't write that to me.
Where's my oil change?
There you go. There's all that money.
Yeah, there it is.
Dan.
Kimberly
I wrote, but
inside
they
the
right
chat
back,
said
though.
she's hearing rumblings. Malzahn back in the SEC to Arkansas. He's from
UCF
Arkansas.
looked awesome.
They looked great yesterday. They were dicing Oklahoma.
I mean,
Is
they
John
almost-
Reese Plumlee 35 years old?
he looked. I mean,
They almost beat Baylor, too. Baylor had to come back from like 30 points.
I don't know if I want them to win or not, but
Dave's
I just
holding
love
on.
Dave. Whatever it takes, Dave. Because he'll get one more year if they can figure it out a little bit. But that was a good, at least, Baylor performance because it felt like they were spiraling.
Yeah, you
I'm
just,
pulling for Dave to DC.
you just
God,
talked
boy.
about Kool-Aid versus Malik, but that other corner on Bama is not.
No. I'm not-
Terrion Arnold is.
That's what I'm telling you, man.
I saw a couple times where he was.
Nobody can guard him.
The only reason I know his name is because I always see the back of his name.
LSU. Nobody in college football can guard LSU.
And
Georgia can't guard LSU. Alabama can't guard LSU. Michigan, Penn State I watched on Saturday play Ohio State. They say they got the best defense in the country. LSU would hang 50 on Penn State. Like, I'm telling you, that's the best defense in the country?
And Ohio State.
Like, I mean,
Ohio State might be a little better than Penn State, I would think.
Well, they won,
they
I
won
watched
by
it
what?
happen.
What was this, 10-3?
Well, they scored a late touchdown, make it
17.
I think it was 20-3 or something like that. But Penn State's like anemic. Did you not know?
2012. 20-12 was the final.
Oh yeah, because I wanted them to go for 2 for different reasons.
Big Ten football coach.
But that's
LSU hangs 50 on them.
the SEC has turned into the Big 12.
Yes.
Like it's reversed roles in a weird way.
That's weird.
But James Franklin, I'm not scared of. Honest to God, if I'm LSU right now, I'll line it up against anybody.
Anybody. I would go
And
to
you're
Georgia.
What are you? Are you 15?
I'd go to Athens.
15.
I would go to the Big House. I would go to Penn State. I'd go to the Horseshoe. You're going to Bama. Like travel this thing anywhere you want to play. This offense, it travels. It is
Not a fluke.
A guarantee to me at this point. They've done it now 5 straight weeks. They've done it against FCS. They've done it against FBS. They've done it against SEC. They've done it against non-conference. They've done it against everybody that has been put in front of them. At this point, the offense is who it is. It's the best offense in the country. That's what it is. That's what it is.
With the Heisman contending quarterback.
And
being your
with
trigger
that,
man.
and now defensively, look, it's 3 straight weeks against teams that, say what you will. You know what I mean? Against Arkansas and Ole Miss, Arkansas's offense, they could not stop.
themselves.
They just fired their offensive coordinator today. Arkansas did. LSU made them look like they were the 2019 version of LSU. The last 3 weeks, they have had something to grow on each and every week.
Missouri in the slouch on offense.
Did you see what
Missouri's
Missouri did
good.
to South Carolina?
Yeah.
Broke their backs yesterday in Como. I mean,
that Missouri win's going to.
yes, the further you get away from it, the prettier it looks. I mean,
Same thing you hope with the Florida State loss. Where
they're
just
talking
hold
up
on.
Mizzou going into Athens in 2 weeks.
I would be.
I definitely would be, because Georgia, when you look at that type of offense, you're like, man,
No.
a
Luther Burden's a problem.
problem. He got hurt yesterday, though. He fell weird on his shoulder. It was an awkward fall.
Brace that thing up.
Yeah, you got 2 weeks, Luth. Like,
Oh, he's playing.
no doubt.
shoot
And
him
Weiss is a problem.
And that's what,
Luis,
that's what I'm saying.
He's an issue.
The LSU Missouri game was Spider-Man meme. Like, we got 2, you got
Absolutely.
2. Like, that's why you're like, this is
You're
going to
right.
be
Last team with the ball wins.
Yeah, put the
Put the
over-under at
guns down.
100. And it's like, yeah, maybe. But now, if you want to flip the coin over, and we've been very positive today, which I love. The other side of it is you have 4 DBs that you don't know where they are.
Right. No. I mean, look, defensive back right now at LSU. You would take all 4 of your recruits
Yeah.
that are committed, or 3 now.
I would put little Jay out there.
Amari Evans last week. Amari Miller.
Murray Evans. Murray Miller.
Which one is it?
The guy that
Oh,
went.
Andre Evans.
No.
No.
No, the one that decommitted from Nashville.
Yeah, it's Andre Evans.
No, it's Omar.
Omar coming.
I'm telling you that
I
is.
mean, he usually is on point with this.
It
I'm
is
not going to
Andre.
go against.
It's Andre with an O.
Yeah, I'm not going to
Andre
go
Evans.
against it.
It's
Stewie
Andre
is
with an O.
the recruiting
It's Andre
guy.
with an O. It's Andre with an O.
Andre Evans.
You take all of them.
You're thinking about the Texas A&M receiver, I think.
Tylen Singleton would play in this game for LSU.
For
That's
sure.
some back act.
Tylen Singleton could play.
He'd start.
He could have been playing.
He'd start on this team.
He probably started.
Jawan Johnson would probably play in this game.
Tylen Singleton would probably start at safety at
I
this
agree.
point.
I agree. Did you see that play he made on Friday night? Pick 6.
Mm-hmm. 90.
I mean,
Give me a linebacker that can do that.
jeez.
He's a safety. He's gonna have to.
He's
They're
a-
gonna have to figure that out.
He is a
Athlete,
football
player.
defensive player.
Who's the? Who was the? Who went to USC?
Tackett. I watched
How's
him
he
play
doing?
last night. He had a bad late hit.
Oh, no way.
On brand. That's what it was.
The announcers, they were like, the Curtis kid from Louisiana is a maniac. I mean,
sit at the table.
right. It was funny. USC's terrible.
Yeah.
I'm watching that. Lincoln Riley, he was panicking last night.
That defense.
Why?
Because his offense wasn't working.
They scored a ton of points.
No. The first half, coach, they were.
They were sputtering,
they were
but
on the
that thing will
ropes.
always get going. But he needs to. What does the defensive coordinator have on him
Who?
for USC?
Grinch?
Yeah. Grinch.
The Grinch.
He's got something.
Because this is the third year in a row he's done this, and he has no intention to change it. Feels like the Saints. Bro, Pete Carmichael ain't it.
It's bad. It is.
And it's like
bad.
Alex Grinch. Have you heard the story? Did I tell this to you already?
What?
The Alex Grinch wristband debacle?
Yes.
That's who you're dealing with. That can't happen.
Tell the audience.
Oh, yeah. So Alex Grinch, where he worked at Washington State under the Pirate, rest in peace, they had up to 12 wristband changes. And because he was so paranoid about people stealing
Mr. Overthink It.
Yeah, but paranoid about people stealing their signs, which now you maybe has some credence to it because of there's special ops guys on the sidelines apparently. But he had half of the defense. He had the front seven with one wristband and the back, four with another wristband. They gave up 3 touchdowns and 3 straight times in 3 plays, and they had the wrong wristband on. One of them had one wristband on, the other one had another wristband on, and they're color coordinated. One was wearing a black wristband, the other was wearing a white wristband. So when he called it a play, it was, we're running cover 4. It's like, we're running cover 0. Yeah, it's like, I had no clue.
That is the stuff in football where you're like, so wait, Alex, you've been at the building. Because you tell everybody.
This is my deal.
When you introduce him to Alex, I've been in the building since 4 a.m. I've been watching film since
I've
last
got
Christmas.
18 wristbands.
I've been here since 3:30.
I hadn't seen my kid's last 10 birthdays. I watched my kid be born on FaceTime. You know what I mean? Okay, I get it. So you're committed to your craft, Alex.
So
is
are
what
we
you're
going
trying
to
to tell
stop
us.
Washington?
Right?
Are we going to stop Washington on Saturday?
So, at the very
And he's got
least,
Mike Leach's head coach.
all
like, I hope
11
you
had
got
the
it.
same wristbands on, right?
Same color?
it was 50-50.
I mean,
He said that the story that I read was, it was on Bleacher Report. It was a long time ago. But it was, they changed wristbands up to 16 times a game, and they interviewed the equipment manager, like, we got it down to a science. And I was like, you're not even talking to the defensive coordinator about this because, Jesus Christ. And he is the...
so wait, you've been here since last December?
And he's the defensive coordinator for USC.
Unreal.
With the, maybe
Unreal.
a top 5 quarterback in the country.
Couple
now,
of $1 million buyout?
And he hasn't been fired. Won't be.
Amazing.
That's what you're. I would line up against USC.
Kids, be a coach.
Get your
I'm
wristbands
telling
right.
you. Be
Been
a
here all
coach,
day.
kids. Get a job. Get one buyout. I mean,
$10.99
you're living
hourly.
in paradise.
I live here.
Hi right now. Hit that like button, share button, comment button. We appreciate you being here with us here from Click Here Digital.
Fuck them, fight on.
Fucking fight on. Texas.
We'll be back with you tomorrow morning. Remember, taking your phone
And
calls.
Sam Montgomery is hurt.
LSU and Alabama. We will
Zion
start the
Alexander.
preview with the
That's a troubling
Tigers.
thing.
All right, so appreciate you being here. Hit that like button, share button, comment button. Subscribe if you have not. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning.
Go Tigers.
Pass them back, eggs.
Pass him back, Ags. Pass back out.
Hey, Chino. Put my headphones up, bro. You're right there. Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification. We about to go live. We got all your favorite guests. We got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta Show. Come have a good time. It's the hottest show around. We ain't got to flex. Call up G, we get it done. We earning our respect. Tell recruits to let us in. Where they going next? Throw up the L's. Now we lit. Band playing neck. From the boot to the east to the west coast. No matter where we at, we live. Mic'd up for show. Open up the phone lines. Come and join the show. Make sure you tell your friends about Jordy Culotta Show. Yeah, Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification. We about to go live. We got all your favorite guests. We got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta Show.